everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of the garden. If you don't know, my name's Cassidy DeYoung. I run Fairytale Flower Farm. I do all of the social media, I do all of the tending to the garden, and I make the bouquets and I deliver them. So if you're dealing with Fairytale Flower Farm, you're most likely talking to me. And don't worry guys, I do not normally dress like this while I'm out here in the garden. I just thought I would dress up a little bit to take some pictures and to film this video. Normally I'm out here in the ugliest pair of gym shorts and tank top I can find. Don't worry, I do not dress like this. This is just one time. Before I give you guys a tour, I thought I would go ahead and give you a little bit of a background on Fairytale Flower Farm. So how we started, it was kind of just a spontaneous, accidental thing, I guess. We've always had a garden, just a simple vegetable garden, and my mom has always done really beautiful landscaping for our house. So I've always been around flowers and vegetables, but we never had like a nice garden. It was just a simple little vegetable patch somewhere on the farm. So one day we went into Tractor Supply and they just got their seeds out, and my mom and I jokingly said we could be Joanna Gaines if we got some seeds and started them, and we can make this beautiful garden just like hers, because she has quite a beautiful garden. We got a few packets of seeds. I brought them home. I learned how to start seeds. I started them. Those seeds actually are pretty much all the zinnias, cosmos, and fourplox that are along the edge of the garden. And then from there I became obsessed and we got a ton more seeds, and I started basically everything in this garden from seeds. There's a few things that we did buy from the local greenhouse just because they take a little bit longer to establish, so we bought them a few years ahead of what they would be if I started them from seed. I originally was just planning on having vegetables, but then buying some flower seeds, I had a few flowers to plant in the garden, but then we also stumbled upon some packets of wildflower seed and I scattered them along the edge of the garden. So yeah, basically everything in here I started from seed. Once we had started all the seed, we obviously needed a place to put all of that, so we got to work on the garden that you see behind me. My dad helped quite a bit with this. I helped as much as I could, but there's only so much that I know how to do, so he kind of showed me a little bit how to do everything here and there. So I did film the entire construction process pretty much from start to finish. We still are working on a few things, but I have filmed basically everything, and I'll be posting all of that shortly. So for the garden, we never bought any lumber. This is all stuff that my dad had lying around his sawmill. So we cut all the posts, I painted everything, we went and got some fencing, set up the fence, then we got to work on the greenhouse, which we also milled all the wood on my dad's sawmill, and then I painted everything, which took quite a long time. Then we ordered all of the corrugated plastic greenhouse stuff, I don't know what it's called. And then my dad had that beautiful French door just lying around, which was extra from one of the jobs that he's done. So I got that French door for free. I painted it this really pretty, like robin egg blue almost. And then my dad also made this really pretty arbor, or trellis, whatever you want to call it, from cedar. And then to match the garden, I was forced to paint it white, even though cedar is very beautiful, natural, but it just didn't match. And then we have two wisteria that are going to climb up the sides of the trellis and hopefully eventually onto the top, and hopefully that'll look really good. I don't know. This gate is temporary, just leftover fencing that is still on the roll that we have just attached to the edge there. So yeah, this roll of wire is just temporary. I'm gonna build like a actual gate, hopefully soon, I don't know when, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so inside the garden to the left hand side when you first walk in, you have a bed of strawberries, and then the herb garden, which has a bunch of chamomile, peppermint, lemon balm, sage, stevia, I don't know how to say it, carrots, lettuce, oregano, thyme, dill, green onion, and lavender. And then over here we have have the pumpkins, which have taken over basically this entire area. I kind of figured they would, but I didn't think it would be quite to this extent. And then there's a few green beans in there as well. And then over here, we have the cucumbers, which need a little bit of water. And then behind them, the tomatoes. And then there's also nasturtium in here and basil, however you say it, I don't know. Yeah, and then of course marigolds, which are doing incredible. And all of this was from seed except for the strawberries, which take a lot more time to grow from a seed, so we went ahead and bought them from the local greenhouse. I am sweating, it is so hot out here. Only other thing over here, well, and then the pumpkins we also bought from the local greenhouse just because we didn't have any seed and it was a very last minute decision. So yeah, we have that from the greenhouse. And then in the herb garden, the only thing in there that is from the greenhouse is the stevia. Otherwise, everything else I grew from seed. Yeah, all of this was grown from seed. So here's a close-up of the herb garden. Here we have the 2 peppermints, and then we have lemon balm, and then a row of sage over there, the stevia, and then some carrots, lettuce, chives, green onion, dill, thyme, and then there is a tiny little lavender bush that's just starting right on the other side here. So yeah, so along both sides of the garden there is a little tiny row of flowers. These were all grown from seed, not in the wildflower packet. All the flowers outside of the fence in that patch over there are wildflowers. These I individually grew from seed. Alright, and over on this side of the garden we again have another strawberry patch, which is the ever-bearing variety. So we've been getting all of our strawberries from this patch. That patch is done for the season because that's June bearing only, so they only bear once a year. These ones do 2 times, one in the spring and then one late summer. Then over here we have our watermelon patch. There's also 3 random poblano peppers in there that I just threw in because I didn't have anywhere else to put them. And then behind me we have the potatoes, and then over here are all different kinds of peppers and marigolds. And then over here on the right hand side of the greenhouse we have a patch of corn that we started pretty late, mainly just because I was still painting the greenhouse with the spray gun. So a lot of paint chemicals were in that area, so I had to wait until after I was done so that I could plant the corn without covering it in paint, basically. Alright, so in the center of the garden at the very back, we have the greenhouse. So, fresh flowers, as you can see. And now let's head inside. So once inside, I have this desk that was actually the very first desk that I've ever refinished. So it used to be just plain wood, and then I went ahead and painted over it. Let me show you. So I went ahead and painted pink and purple splotches all underneath there, and then I covered it in this white paint that's really old, so it had a bunch of rust in it, which I actually really like because then you get a whole bunch of like rusty spots with streaks and stuff. So I think it looks really cool, makes it look a lot more aged. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then obviously I sanded it back down to some of the pink and purple and original wood. So yeah. And then on top I have some succulents. So I did not grow any of these from seed. All the succulents pretty much are from the local greenhouse. So we have those over here, those there. So, and then on each side of the desk I have one of these pots, and I'm going to eventually put those 3 succulents in there with a couple more, but I have to go get a few more succulents. And then over here I have the smaller pot with those really cute 3 in there. So all of these all fell off of this guy, and I'm propagating them. Hopefully they'll turn into the bigger one eventually. And then I'm going to plant these 3 in here along with a few more. Like I said, I need to get a few more succulents. And then up here in this corner I have a string of pearls, which is just a little baby. He's still growing, probably needs a little bit of water, which I'm going to water everything a little bit later today. Down here we have some seeds starting. So in this tray it's all sunflowers. We have 72 sunflowers sown in there. And then over here is 2 different varieties of zinnias that I'm testing just to see how well they germinate, because I actually collected that seed from some of the zinnias out in the wildflower patch. So I'm just going to go ahead and see how well they germinate and stuff. But as you can see in here, some of these sunflower seeds I did collect from my sunflowers, and they are germinating. So yeah, that's exciting. Everything's starting to germinate in here. I'll take off this humidity dome in just a few days. Over here we have this really pretty wind chime that I got at a market like a week ago. And then on the ceiling I have a bunch of string lights hanging, which look really nice at night. It kind of reflects all off the walls. It looks really cool. And then over here, I'm not sure what kind of succulent this is. It's almost like a string of pearls, but obviously it's a little bit different. I'm not too sure the variety. And then in this corner, we have this vine. I can't remember the name. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the wildflower patch. So guys, this one little patch of wildflowers you see here is where all of the flowers for my bouquets come from, which may seem pretty shocking because it's not a lot. So this entire bed is probably only 4 foot by 50 feet, and all of my flowers come out of here. So as you can see, you can get quite a bit of flowers out of just one bed, but it has been kind of a problem because I've had to put quite a few people on a wait list, as I can't get as many flowers out of here as I need to. So next year, behind the greenhouse is a strip of dirt, basically. This whole field right here is all just dirt. It's a motocross track. If you don't know, my family is very into motocross as well. So there is a motocross track right on this side of the flowers. Back that way, it's all just open dirt. So next year I'm planning on sowing quite a few more rows of flowers back there. So yeah, I have quite a few seeds in a cart online that I need to sort through and finalize and then order, so that I can start those for next year. But yeah, I think it is quite impressive how many flowers I've been able to get out of here. They are dying down for the season, so it doesn't look incredible right now. Yeah, it's mainly just green and brown as it all starts to fade away. But yeah, we still have some zinnias, some cosmos, a few black-eyed Susans, not a whole lot. They're starting to dwindle down too. And then that's pretty much it. There's also a couple bachelor buttons, but they've started to die away as well. Okay, the sun went behind a cloud, but hopefully you guys will stick with us, because I am very excited for next year with all the new flower varieties that we're going to be adding. Yeah, I'm really excited, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. It's so hot. I'm sweating. The sun is like fire. Thank you, Cooper. So yeah, the only flower... Hello. So yeah. Oh, right, thank you. Just that I grew from seed, like seed packets, and these are the... How do I say this? So once we're inside, I have this... Oh gosh. Oh.